Oh, the wicked one is suddenly suppressing everything. Oh, I guess really when somebody just hits the truth, you think that, I mean, do you know what time it is? Yeah, you do. You know what time it is. So I was looking more in, even though no one's seen that video, probably on any platform, but, well, TikTok. So I had showed this picture in my other video that's not getting seen because I had said that, well, the beast rose a long time ago. Here, yeah. That's why they don't want to show it. Okay, but this, I want to go a little further into this because there was the Circus of Nero, the Emperor Nero. Okay, so, and then there was the Circus of, and it's up here, this one. See, what's interesting is these, the reason I found out about and then there's Circus Maximus, okay? I believe this was at one time Circus Maximus, or maybe, yeah, because see, Vatican Neropolis, and then, so there was Circus Maximus was where they would do in Rome, the Roman Empire, they would do the chariot racing, okay? So this was they did this at Circus Maximus because it would hold like 150 to 200,000 people. But then there was a Circus of Nero, the Emperor Nero, who was, well, yeah, I mean, he killed a ton of Christians. I think it was him that is said to have crucified Peter upside down. And then they decided, then when Constantine came in, they built their temple of death on top of Peter's bones, and then used the line in the Bible. It's interesting. I think Jesus said it because he knew they'd do that too, because they would be that stupid. Because I mean, that's what their claim is no, we built our structure on top of the bones of Peter. Yeah, you left out the part that it was, after you killed him. But God was never talking about that. But because you're all materialistic there, you're still the Roman Empire, always have been. Of course, you would run around and tell people that. And then in this world, everybody would buy it. So anyway, so this was a bigger Colosseum, the Circus Maximus. So going back to this picture, that would be, I think that's this one. Yeah. And then there was a smaller one built called Circus of Nero, where it would hold like maybe anywhere from 10 to 50,000 people maybe. And that was a smaller one. They may have done chariot races there too. So this is Circus, yeah, they did, because you could see the horses. So it's a smaller venue, so you can't have as many people. But this is where they would, they tortured Christians. They threw them to the lions. See, it's really important. I guess that's why, the whole Lion of Judah thing, it's just been on my mind so much. And the holy fire, because see, God is like so amazing the way it all works out, being the Lion of Judah. Because, because that was the line of David that Jesus came. But anyway, because see, while they were throwing Christians, God's children, to the lions and doing much even worse than that. They wasn't just lions. They were throwing them to all sorts of a whole bunch of, deadly animals. So of course you would need a smaller venue. You probably wouldn't be throwing Christians to, once you're, claiming to be the church. That you, or maybe even just in general, I don't know how brutal the people were under paganism. I guess maybe you could get 150 to 200,000 people to watch a bunch of Christians just be mutilated. But I have a feeling they were doing it more at a smaller level, that stuff, where the bigger stadium that I just showed is where they had the big races, where they, like what, this is why it's so weird with Donald Trump. It's so weird. This is too why my videos aren't getting seen, because it's like, talk about synchronicity. I've been talking about the Lion of Judah, and then he spoke. He did a play-by-play at the Lions, the Detroit Lions that were playing against the Washington Commanders. And you knew the Lions were going to win. I mean, it was... So they let that like short one, but it's just weird. I didn't know. I don't follow that sports that much. But he was talking, they were interviewing him, the sportscasters, and he did like this play-by-play, and he was talking about how, well, sports, it's in our history. It's the good, the bad, the ugly of sports. Well, yeah, this was where it all came from. It is, and then you can see, you see this thing here that we have in Washington too. That's how you know the beast rose also. Yeah, so I saw chariot racing was like the NASCAR of ancient Rome. So this might, I think this was more of the, I don't know if this was a big, but they had a big one, and they all were on the outside of Rome. So they didn't, and this would make sense why they were still in paganism, because see, the reason they actually, even before supposedly Constantine didn't convert, he just had to get control of the Christians, because they were literally the Christians that were in Rome. They refused to do rituals, human sacrifice rituals. Yeah, they were, yeah. And it was freaking everybody out, because they're like, no, you're going to bring, detriment onto the kingdom if you don't do it. And they were willing to die. And so it was getting out of control. Of course it would. The holy fire was in them. That spirit of the holy fire was in them. They were willing to die just like the apostles. That's how you know it's true too. Like people, it's the reason the four gospels are similar, because nobody does that. Nobody does that unless it's a real thing, okay? Goes on to just know they're going to get killed, tortured, and, be hunted, tortured, persecuted, and eventually mutilated in the worst way, just for a lie. Nobody does that. And again, I've never heard anybody in my lifetime call Christianity a cult, because it's been around too long. Usually cults will die off of, yeah, so it's real. But, there's a bigger lion that comes. Boy, I wouldn't want to be anybody. I mean, even the ones that are dead, yeah, they're going to be raised up to be judged. I can't imagine that will be a good day for any of them. But it's where our sports came from. Yeah, at the circus, Circus Maximus or Circus of Nero. At the circus, people had a lot of fun cheering loudly for their favorite team. If you were cheering for the gold team, you would wave something gold. If you were supporting two teams, you might wave one color and wear another. Like a football game. Also, in my last video, I showed this throne, okay? This was in the old St. Peter's Basilica. That's what I didn't finish saying. So where they would do the sacrifices was always on the outer walls of Rome. And that's where the basilica is built, which makes sense. That's where they were killed, because they didn't want it in the, I think it goes back to their pagan ritual stuff. But they would kill them on the outside of Rome. Yeah, that's why there was a cemetery. So, like if you're Christian, you would have had to see my last video, and nobody will see it. So I'm sorry if I'm confusing people. This is a picture for I don't know if obviously the old St. Peter's Basilica that Constantine built or had built. This was what it looked like. It had this throne built into it, and this throne sits under the altar, and it sits above Peter's bones. And if you know anything about, Daniel, Revelation, it said, the beast will take a seat in God's temple. Peter was the temple. In the 6th century, this is the throne they got, and nobody has seen this for like 150 years, and then under Francis, they brought this out. Look at the. It looks like some damn torture device. Look at this. Okay. I mean, this is to his pagan gods. All of them are. This church is. But when you zoom in on that chair that I was just showing, there's the lion eating the Christians. Yes, symbolism gives them away. Totally. Oh. the Lion of Judah is coming.